Hello student, in previous lecture we learned about the mole concept. Today we discuss on one more topic of chemistry, that is the empirical formula and molecular formula. Basically we how to write the molecular formula of different elements with the help of their valency and which atoms are present in that particular molecule. Suppose we take one example, methane, CH4. It is the molecular formula of methane. How to calculate this CH4? With the help of valency of carbon and hydrogen, we have to calculate the molecular formula of methane. Similarly, we can calculate the different molecular formula of different elements like the benzene, naphthalene, hydrogen peroxide, again glucose, then again fructose. These all means number of compounds. We have to calculate the molecular formula, and with the help of their molecular formula we have to identify that particular molecule. So today we learn about what is mean by molecular formula, what is mean by empirical formula. So molecular formula, it is nothing but the actual number of atoms of various element present in one molecule of the compound. Okay, means actual number of molecular formula is nothing but the actual number of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of a compound, Okay, actual number of atoms of various element present in one molecule of compound, it is called as the molecular formula. Example, CH4, it is the molecular formula of methane. Okay, in methane molecule, how many carbons are present? One carbon atom is present and 4 hydrogen atoms are present. Okay, actually they are present in the particular element. Then second example, C2H6, it is the molecular formula of ethane. Okay, means C2H6 means 2 carbons and 6 hydrogens are present in ethane molecule. Then again we take another one example of other compound, NaCl, sodium chloride. Okay, it is the molecular formula of sodium chloride. It consists of one sodium atom and one chlorine atom. How to write the structure of molecular formula? By using their valency. Here valency of carbon is 4 and valency of hydrogen is 1. Here also valency of carbon is 4, valency of hydrogen is 1. With the help of this valency, we have to draw the molecular formula of different number of molecules. Okay, so molecular formula is nothing but the actual number of atoms of various element present in one molecule of a compound. Okay, means in compound consists of number of molecules. Okay, in that molecule, means suppose we have take the glucose. Okay, in glucose the number of glucose molecules are present compound. So in glucose consists of C6H12O6. Why it is compound? Because their proportion means 1:4 proportion is here, fixed proportion. Here also 1:2 means 1:3 proportion is fixed. This proportion of this element is fixed, so we are called it is the water. So we are called it is the compound. Water, it is also the one well-known example of compound because it consists of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. By the combination of these 2 atoms, they become a compound, and this is in fixed in proportion. Similarly, in molecule also there are number of atoms are present, but they are present in particular proportion. Okay, so this is all about the molecular formula. Then empirical formula. If you know about the molecular formula, then we have to calculate or try to calculate the empirical formula. Okay, it is very simple concept. Then next topic is our empirical formula. We take one more example of molecular formula. First is we have to take the glucose, then again glucose. It is not. This is the NaCl, sodium chloride. Glucose is C6H12O6. Then again benzene, C6H6. These all are the number of molecules are present in science, or in chemistry we take only some example of that. So empirical formula is nothing but the simplest whole number ratio of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of the compound. Okay, simplest whole number. Okay, so empirical formula is nothing but the simplest whole number. It is the simplest whole number of atoms of various elements. Atoms of various elements. Simplest whole number of atoms of various elements present in one molecule. Present in one molecule of the compound. Okay, basically if we take a 1 gram of compound, it may be glucose, or it may be fructose, it may be benzene. So when we take the 1 gram of any compound, it consists of the number of molecules. In one molecule of compound, they having the different atoms are present. They having some proportions. They are present in definite proportion. Okay, but empirical formula is nothing but the simplest whole number of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of the compound. Means we have to calculate the ratio of elements. Suppose we take one example of glucose. Okay, what is the molecular formula of glucose? Is C6H12O6. It is nothing but the molecular formula of glucose. Okay, means one molecule of glucose, it consists of 6 number of carbon, 12 number of hydrogen, and 6 atoms of oxygen. Means 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen, and 6 atoms of oxygen. If you try to calculate the empirical formula of this glucose, it become CH2O. This is the empirical formula of glucose. Why it is? Because it is nothing but the empirical formula. In definition, see in definition, empirical formula is nothing but the simplest whole number of atoms. Means we have to calculate the ratio of simplest whole number ratio. The simplest whole number ratio. That is the simplest whole number ratio of atoms of various elements. Means we know that basically in molecules number of elements are present. They are present in definite proportion. But empirical formula they say that means जो भी number of elements present है उस जितने भी number of elements present है in one molecule of the compound, we have to calculate their simplest ratio. उनका क्या हमको simplest ratio find करना है. So if we multiply by this element, this compound by 6, then it again become the molecular formula of glucose. Okay, we make one table for this, giving number of examples also. That is the compound, different compound. Then their empirical formula. And here molecular formula. Okay, suppose one well-known example is glucose. Okay, what is the molecular formula of glucose? C6H12O6. Then empirical formula of glucose is CH2O. Then another example is naphthalene. Naphthalene. What is the molecular formula of naphthalene? C10H8. Calculate the simplest ratio of 10 and 8. That is the C5H4. It is the simplest ratio of 10 and 8. So it is the empirical formula of naphthalene. Then another example, benzene. What is the molecular formula of benzene? C6H6. Calculate the simplest ratio of, that is the 1:1, that is the CH. Okay, 1 carbon and 1 hydrogen. It is the simplest ratio of benzene molecule, that is the C6H6. Then another example is a hydrogen peroxide. Okay, hydrogen peroxide, that is the H2O2. Here 2:2, that is the H and O. It is the simplest form or empirical formula of hydrogen peroxide. Then again one example, ethane, that is the C2H6, that is the CH3. It is the simplest form or empirical formula of ethane. Okay, so here with the help of this data we have to calculate one formula, that is the relation between the molecular formula and empirical formula. We have to write the relation between the molecular formula and empirical formula, that is the molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula. Okay, and this N is nothing but the 1, 2, 3, from 1 to up to the nth number. Okay, N is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to the nth number. Suppose we tally one example with the help of this formula. Suppose the molecular formula of this molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Then N, what we take the N? N is equal to, we have to take the 6 into molecular empirical formula CH2O. Then we have to calculate C6H12O6. Then multiply this formula by 6. Then it becomes C6H12O6 equal. Okay, got it? This is the relation between the molecular formula and empirical formula. Okay, don't confuse in between the molecular formula and empirical formula. It is the very simple concept. जैसे कि आपको सिर्फ ये पता होना चाहिए जो भी कंपाउंड है उसका मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मूला क्या है. विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस एंड मीन्स उनके जो मीन्स नंबर ऑफ एटम्स वो क्या रहने चाहिए, दे आर डिवाइड टू ईच अदर. सपोज हियर द CH4 methane having the empirical formula and molecular formula is same because 1:4 they are not divided by each other. Means we can't calculate the simplest ratio of methane molecule. मीथेन का हम निकाल सकते हैं क्या सिंपलेस्ट रेशो? नहीं निकाल सकते. तो उसका जो मॉलिकुलर फार्मूला है एंड एम्पिरिकल फार्मूला है वो क्या रहेगा? सेम. देयर आर नंबर ऑफ एग्जांपल्स in there. NaCl 1:1 ratio. Their molecular formula and empirical formula is also same. Because we can't calculate this simplest form में हम उसे लिख सकते हैं क्या? नहीं लिख सकते. So their molecular formula and empirical formula of some elements is same and some elements some compound is different and some compound is same. Because they are not, means we not calculate the simplest ratio of that particular molecular formula. And those elements we have to calculate the simplest ratio of that, like the glucose, naphthalene, benzene, hydrogen peroxide. They having the means different empirical formula is different and their molecular formula is different. आपको सिर्फ ये याद रखना है molecular formula means the general formula of any compound. उसका जो general formula we can calculate the general formula by representing their valency also and they are satisfying their valency, like the NaCl, water, H2O. Okay, water is also having the same molecular means empirical and molecular formula is same. Then again means number of elements, methane, ethane, propane, butane, hexane. Propane they are not divided to each other. Methane is also not divided to each other, so they having the same molecular formula and empirical formula. But butane, that is the C4H10, their empirical formula is C2H5. So we have to calculate this with the help of means उनके जो number of atoms जितने present है वो क्या रहने चाहिए? Divide to each other. We have to calculate the simplest ratio and this simplest ratio is nothing but the empirical formula and actual number of atoms present in element, it is called as the molecular formula. So in today's lecture we discuss also see the relation between the molecular formula and empirical formula. Molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula. N is equal to 1 to up to the nth. Okay, so the molecular formula, we see the one example of this. Glucose having the molecular formula C6H12O6 and having its 6, n क्या आएगा यहाँ पे 6 आएगा. If you take the again example C5H4, तो यहाँ पे क्या आएगा n 2. Okay, 2 into C5H4 is nothing but the C10H8. Then here also we have to take the n. What is the value of n is here 2. Here also 2. When we see the compare the empirical formula and molecular formula of ethane, this n value is varies. And if you not understand, if the molecular formula and empirical formula is given, the question is asked what is the value of n. So n is nothing but the molecular formula divided by empirical formula. Okay, with the help of this formula we have to calculate the value of n. What is the n? So this is the very simple but very important. Don't confuse in molecular formula and empirical formula. So today's lecture we stop here. In next video we see the next topic. Okay, thank you. If you like my video, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. My channel name is Sharda Survase. So today we are stop here. Thank you for watching.